Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And welcome to another episode of NAMF Senior Talk, a program that is funded by the New Horizons for Seniors program, Government of Canada. Today we have a very special guest in the studio, Brother Salman, and he worked for Kuwait Airways for about 35 years. He's now in Canada running his own travel agency. So I would like to welcome Brother Salman.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming
to
the show. Let me begin, Brother Salman, by asking you, tell me a little bit about yourself, and how you came to Canada and what your experience and your, impression was, when you first came here.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, thank you for inviting me, and congratulations on the Independence Day of Pakistan.
Oh, thank you.
And actually, I came to Pakistan from Kuwait to Canada in 2013. I was working for Kuwait Airways, and after I got retired, so my family actually had come before here. So I was thinking that where should I go? So then I saw around. I found Canada was the best place to live in after the retirement. And not even after the retirement, before retirement as well, because this country is amazing.
So the cold did not bother you?
Well, it didn't
Since
bother
you came from Kuwait and Canada,
oh, yes.
Diametrically opposing weathers, right?
It's the difference of temperature you can imagine is around 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Exactly.
There it goes up to 50 degrees centigrade plus. Yeah. And here we get sometimes minus 20, 25 in the average. In the winter we get that temperature.
Yes.
So the extreme weather was there, but alhamdulillah, the irony is that when I was young, I was in extreme hot weather, and when I'm old, I'm in the extreme cold. Sure. But still, like the environment and the arrangement are so good that it doesn't take I feel anything.
So you didn't have difficulty, settling down over here. Obviously, when you migrate from one country to another, there's a culture shock, as well as the ways of doing business.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That this country has so open arms and it welcomes everyone from all over the world. Whatever religion you are from, whatever class or creed you are, that most of the people, they settle down here and they do very well.
Oh, well, mashallah,
yeah,
glad to hear that, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, because it's open, you can do business whatever you want. You want to do a job, you can do that. Okay. Yes, there is no restrictions, there is no discrimination. The main thing is there's now Islamophobia is growing, but it's very less than 0.1% or something less than that.
So how did you find in terms of growing up your kids over here? I know that you have been in the country since 2013, so
yeah, actually my
years, but
children, I have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. So 2 of them were already, they had completed their education. When I was in Kuwait, I sent them to study in United States.
Okay.
So one son and one daughter, they studied in Texas, and they did their graduation from there. And 2 were in the school when I came here. So
you mean in high school?
One was in high school and one was in primary school.
Oh, okay.
The youngest one was in the primary school.
Okay.
She just completed 4th grade.
Okay.
And she was admitted to.
So you didn't had any difficulty, transitioning from,
Nothing at all. It was
from Kuwait, all the way.
It was a change for better.
Change for better.
Yeah, and we were very.
So you find obviously the school system, is very accommodating as well, right?
It was.
How did you find the community at large?
Mashallah, that is another good thing over here, that the community from similar different communities, like especially from our subcontinent, everyone has ready to welcome you and support. And especially the system through our Muslims. masajid.
Now let me move towards more towards the future. Now, obviously, you are getting into that age bracket where you are going to be retiring. How do you find yourself living in Canada with a senior age in terms of government services such as medical services, Canada pension plan, old age security?
Yeah, that is the best thing of this country. This country is for the children and the seniors.
Okay.
When the child is born, from the day of birth, it is the responsibility of government. Until he grows, until 18 years, the government gives the expense to the parents and the free education. And for the seniors, there are so many benefits. There's a pension. In many countries, there is no concept, especially in our countries. And if you are in the private sector, nobody gets the pension.
Even in the Middle East. And how was your experience during the COVID? What did you face challenges over here? How did you cope with
Yeah, another good thing about Canada. Canada is one of the best country in the world who has completely has faced COVID with the success. It's a success story.
It is.
The death rate is very low, and vaccination rate is very high. And
I suppose you have been vaccinated.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I took all the four vaccinations.
All 4 vaccines, okay.
And the good thing is that the government support.
Yes.
We hardly find any other country which has supported its citizen with financial and medical and whatever aspect was needed. We salute to the government of Canada. What they have done in the COVID, it is second to none.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that you had very positive experiences.
Oh, yes.
Alhamdulillah. This is such a great thing to hear that, right?
Actually.
Because especially, when you come in a senior age, normally what we find is, there is a transition period and it's very challenging and difficult because of the language, because of the culture, because of the weather. But in your case, right, it's good to know that, you did not had much difficulty adjusting yourself.
Alhamdulillah, by the grace of God and by the help of this government. Actually, I was asthmatic for 25 years. And asthma is a lungs disease.
Okay.
And this COVID, if you have COVID and you have asthma, then that's a death certificate.
Yes.
So it was very challenging for me to keep.
So how did you cope? You stayed home? You were,
No,
during
the restrictions I was stayed, and our travel industry had completely collapsed in that period. There
yes,
were
travel agency, exactly.
Airports were closed.
Yes.
All the flights were grounded.
Yes.
So most of the time I had to stay at home.
Okay.
But occasionally, when like grocery or something, we had to go out.
Oh, okay.
Alhamdulillah. But first of all, thanks to Allah that I am now over 70 years.
Oh, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah. And
still going.
And still going, and I didn't have COVID.
Oh, mashallah.
And me and my wife, alhamdulillah, we are all, both of them are seniors.
Okay.
And our children had COVID. And one son is living with me.
Oh.
He had the COVID.
Wow.
But thanks to Allah, see around more than 10 million people died in COVID.
Yes, that is true.
And several hundreds of millions, they got COVID. And thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they saved us.
So let me ask you, back home where we, originally comes from, Pakistan, India, and all those Muslim countries, the family setup usually is an extended families, or a joint family where, you have children and then they get married, but they tend to stay obviously with the parents, right? And over there they look after their parents while they are in their senior ages. Now in Canada, obviously the social setup is different. Children get married, they move out, they may move to a different city, different country. Usually parents are left by themselves. Now and that's why you have what you call seniors home over here, long-term residences, long-term care. What do you have to say about this change? Do you think that this is something that if you are in a position you will be able to cope with it? How would you cope with it?
Well, there are so many good things we were talking about, but this is one of the
let's talk about something
setbacks.
not
this
so
is the
positive.
other side of the
Yes.
picture. So this is one of the very sad story of Canada, and not only just Canada, all the Western
exactly. It's the Western.
They have different system for the family system.
Yeah.
The family system which keeps us engaged and together. That is Eastern, and that is our Islamic culture, which has respect for the elders. But unfortunately, we're sorry to say that here we have a different system, and that is influencing all our children, and our family system is breaking up, and the system environment is such that if we don't control our children from the beginning, from the childhood, since they are 5, and we don't educate them properly and according to Islamic rules and law, then we can go. Otherwise, at the present, we are losing them. We are growing up, bringing up our children, giving them the best education, and in the end we lose them.
Yes.
So this is a very sad story of this country and in this Western society.
But so far you have not felt isolated, because I have dealt with a lot of seniors here. One of the phenomenon that I observed here is social isolation.
Isolation is a big problem. Loneliness is
like I can give you an example. In my case, obviously my parents were in Pakistan. They both passed away. After my father's, passing away, I told my mother to come and stay with me, right? And she vehemently refused. She said, what am I going to do over there? All of you will go to work, school, and I will be left alone, Even though I was not putting her in a senior home, I was telling her, no, she is going to be staying with me, but she refused. So the whole cultural setup is different here. Do you think that the Muslim community is very different than the other communities over here, or do they have the same sort of challenges and difficulties?
Muslim community is different, but in our new generations, since they are brought up here, so they follow the local what is going on, local environment, local atmosphere.
Yes.
So actually, my mother passed away last November.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
In Allah, may Allah bless her in Jannatul Firdaus. So I tried her many times. Same thing with happened with me. She refused to come.
Yes.
Many times I had offered her. She's in. But Alhamdulillah, last month my auntie, the younger sister of my mother, is also alive. She is around also 87, 88 years old. And her husband passed away 2 years before.
Okay.
And her daughter is in USA.
Okay.
She came to visit her. So I asked her to come and visit me. So she's there presently. She is staying with me.
Oh, mashallah.
Last month she came here.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah. So
and how did she like it here?
Oh, she's happy.
She's happy.
We take her out on the weekends.
Okay.
And in the day, I go to office late to be with her.
Okay.
And then my wife,
But she has not enjoyed the winter yet.
No, she has not.
Oh, okay.
She has not seen the winter.
Okay, so let's wait till December, right, and find out what her thoughts will be, right, at that stage.
She has not seen the winter yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, hopefully, inshallah.
Okay.
But she plans to go before the start of the winter,
Yeah, it's a bit different, when people come for visit, right, as compared to when you actually come to live
for long
on a day-to-day basis. It's true that, the government services, and all those facilities that we receive is wonderful. It's, world-class. But in terms of socialization, we find that
loneliness is the major problem for the
social isolation is a big phenomenon.
Yes.
Let me ask
Mashallah, your organization is helping a lot of this.
Alhamdulillah.
It's a really great job.
One question I wanted to ask you, and this is something for the future. We are planning to, construct a senior residence for Muslims here. Where all the Muslims are going to be occupying, Muslim seniors and non-seniors. What do you think about a project like this? Do you think that a project of such dimension should be in place, where you have Muslim seniors living together obviously in their own units, in their own apartments, but obviously with the same culture, the same language? What's your thought?
It's the necessity. It should have been done long before. Because this is the fact we have to face, and ultimately most of the seniors will end up there, because at the last stage when you are unable to do your thing by yourself and your children abandon you, then that is the only place, and the government supports you.
Yeah.
So Alhamdulillah, I heard that your plan is excellent. May Allah give you success. We all should contribute to it. Whatever we can do, it's our responsibility. And in the end, we have to look that if all, there are not one or two, there are hundreds of citizens I know that who have the problem, have the family problem. That actually, this is going on in our also in countries also now.
Yes, the whole
most of the
norm internationally is changing. Yes.
Many seniors are left behind in our countries.
Yes.
And nobody is taken. They end up in the streets.
Yes.
So if you take care, this is a noble job. It's a noble cause.
Inshallah.
May Allah give you success.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Brother Salman, for coming to the show. It's certainly very enlightening, and we are very glad to know that you had excellent and wonderful experiences in Canada. We certainly hope that you continue with that, and wish you all the best in the future. Well, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we are now coming to the conclusion of the program. Inshallah, we will see you in the next episode with another guest, and we'll try to learn their experiences, their challenges and difficulties, and their stories, so that we can all learn something from there. Until then, this is Farooq Khan, your host. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.